workplace romances are as American as apple pie. It happens to everyone.
That's not true.
That sounds messy.
But it happened to the two of us.
Like, how is that appropriate?
Wait a minute. He's making us look bad.
He was a judge.
WIllis and Wade admitted to having a romantic relationship. Among those who testified was Fulton County Commission Chairman Rob Pitts, who said he would support a potential law change for oversight of district attorney expenses.
So there are times when we just disagree with what's on the books, and that's the position that I find myself in.
The panel is expected to produce a report at the end of its investigation that could feature proposed changes to state law for budgeting of district attorney offices. The panel's chairman, Senator Bill Cosworth, revealed they have invited WIllis to their hearings, and if forced, they have plans to subpoena her.
She's a key part of the investigation, and her viewpoints are valued by us. We need to hear what she has to say and her explanation and what she thinks the appropriate rules ought to be going forward, so we don't have this kind of scandal giving Georgia a black eye again in the future.
WIllis appeared at a community event Friday morning ahead of the hearing, criticizing the panel's investigation.
Isn't it interesting when we got a bunch of African-American DAs, now we need Daddy to tell us what to do?
Well, first of all, I don't even think they have the authority to subpoena me, but they need to learn the law.
So will you appear, yes or no?
I will not appear to anything that is unlawful, and I have not broken the law in any way. I said it, I'll say it amongst these leaders. I'm sorry folks get pissed off that everybody gets treated evenly.
All right. I think she answered that very well.
I don't think there is a disconnect. I think if you really pay attention to the numbers, you will see that there have been many indictments brought. We certainly need more work. I would encourage you to tell the county commissioners that we need more staff to do the work. But the reality is, if you look at the jail numbers and you just go back, you will see that they are smaller today than ever. However, for more than 20 years, Fulton County has needed a new jail. They need a new jail right now. The position that they have put my sheriff in is absolutely disgusting. There are doors at that jail that don't have appropriate locks on it. He doesn't have the appropriate manpower. They are asking him to be a magician, not a sheriff.
Everything they touch turns to what? You shouldn't use that kind of language. Look, you can't use the word shit, okay?
All the charges against the former president. By accepting the application for appeal, the Georgia Appellate Court could effectively freeze the proceedings in the ongoing election interference case until this appeal is resolved.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. The shenanigans don't stop when it comes to Fani Willis, Nathan Wade, Fulton County, the Trump election case. Today, we're diving into the latest twists and turns in the ongoing saga surrounding District Attorney Fani Willis. The core of the controversy centers on the Georgia Court of Appeals agreeing to hear the case to disqualify Fani from the high-profile case. Before we dive in, I think it's important for us to understand what a court of appeals is tasked with doing. A court of appeals functions as an intermediary judicial body tasked with reviewing decisions made by lower trial courts. Its primary role is to assess whether legal errors occurred during the trial process that may have impacted the outcome of the case.
Courts have been known to make mistakes.
Yeah, everyone makes mistakes.
I will see you in court.
Unlike trial courts, the Court of Appeals does not retry cases or consider new evidence. Instead, it evaluates the trial court's record to determine if errors in law or procedure occurred. Here, they would look at Judge McAfee's decisions, and they would look for procedural errors. The defendants have submitted a document saying that yes, there are errors that are here. Parties that are dissatisfied with trial court's decisions have the right to appeal to the Court of Appeals, where judges consider the arguments presented by both parties and issue rulings based on their interpretation of the law and the facts of the case. But first, let's address a controversial moment from last week. Trump's lawyer Boots took to Twitter to accuse Fani Willis of defying the judge's order to refrain from speaking publicly on the case again. This latest development adds fuel to the already fiery legal battle. And another surprising turn of events, Fani was endorsed for re-election by faith leaders in Fulton County in front of Big Bethel. This endorsement event, reminiscent of the very type of speeches included in the appeal, has raised eyebrows and further intensified the scrutiny surrounding Fani's actions. After months of silence, Nathan Wade, the former special prosecutor, broke his silence in a public interview with ABC. Wade provided his account of the events, shedding new light on the complexities of the case and adding another layer of intrigue on the ongoing legal drama.
I regret that private matter became the focal point of this very important prosecution.
You cheated on your wife.
Not only does he have a very public divorce, but the statement heard round the world last week is that the relationship he had with Fani Willis was American as apple pie.
Workplace romances are as American as apple pie. It happens to everyone.
While you were married?
That is so inappropriate. Let me get this straight. It's totally inappropriate.
In summary, the Georgia Court of Appeals' decision to hear the case, Boots' accusation against Fani.
8.4 of professional rules, it says it's a violation of the Georgia Rules of Professional Conduct for a lawyer to, and that's A4, engage in a professional conduct involving dishonesty, fraud, deceit, or misrepresentation. Now, do you have to find that Wade and Willis lied? No. What you need to be able to find is that there is a concern, a legitimate concern based on the evidence in this case about their truthfulness. A legitimate concern about the truthfulness, which equates to an appearance of impropriety. Because once you have the appearance of impropriety under forensic misconduct, the law in Georgia is clear, that's enough to disqualify.
The endorsement event outside of Big Bethel.
Got to pray you back to church.
I ain't going to no church. The devil is a lie.
Nathan Wade's public interview have all contributed to the escalated tension and uncertainty surrounding Fani Willis's legal troubles. Not to mention, she is up for re-election this year.
People don't remember that when I first came to office, I was talking to the wall and telling them Atlanta has a gang problem. And they were saying, LA has a gang problem. New York has a gang problem. Chicago has a gang problem, and they did not want to face the reality that Atlanta had a gang problem.
That's right.
But with the help of our current mayor and with Chief Shearbaum and all of the police departments, as well as these religious leaders, we've been able to curtail that gang problem and bring crime down more than 25%. Homicides are down more than 21%. That's real. Those aren't just numbers. Those are mamas that get to go home and still hug their babies.
Right.
And if you're a mother, that means something. We had a very damaged relationship between community and law enforcement agencies. We all remember George Floyd and the damage that did to our community, and we had our own problems here. And the community was mad, as they should have been mad. 101 police cases going back years that nobody had addressed. Today, I can tell you each of them has been addressed. Sometimes those officers were charged. Others times the officers were cleared. It was whatever the facts and the law required. And what I have found, as long as you do what the facts and the law are, the community will accept it, and so will the police.
All right.
And so we've made those difficult decisions. I have promised a balanced approach. And so I remember running for district attorney and talking to people like Bishop Jackson and talking to other religious leaders and to my strategists and saying, I think I'm nobody's DA. And they said, well, what do you mean? I said, I have these people that say there should be no jails and no prisons, but I've been a murder prosecutor. I have walked up too many nights and stepped over young men's bodies, or talked to the victims of child molestation and sexual assaults. And I know that there is a segment of society that doesn't deserve to be among the good people of this community because they don't mind creating harm. But then you have these other people that they are foolish as well. They think every single person needs to go to prison, and there is no thing as second chances and restoring people. And so I don't believe in that either. There are people that...
Guys, it took me a while to not interrupt. Fani's job is to prosecute crime. She's talking about 18,000 cases that when she came into office, she had to take care of, and they went back 7 years. It was a backlog. She talks about a 25% crime reduction rate in Atlanta. Atlanta is a very dangerous city. I live here right now. Let me tell you guys something. Quick story time. Started a job. I worked for one of the nation's top 4 banks, and they had an office here in Atlanta. I did lunch with some of my new coworkers, and this is about a year ago now. We all met for lunch, and I was getting to know everybody. They were talking about what different parts in the city they lived in. And, the topic of break-ins came in, as we talked about a recent news story where people will break into apartment building garages and break into every single vehicle, smashing windows. That happened less than a year ago. I've talked to coworkers who had home invasions. 6 people at the table. 3 of the 6 had a theft in their home. What 25% reduction rate?
We now have Jim Jordan wanting to talk to Nathan Wade. Don't forget about Misha Mainer's ongoing litigation with Fulton County and their inability to prosecute her stalker properly.
This Misha lady had a lot to say about the defense attorney. I see very little wrong, except for the conflict about the money. That's a big no-no. But it seemed like he was just advocating for his client and using his power to do it. Lord knows, guys, if anybody's going to use their fucking power for good or for evil, right, it's going to be this dude right here, right? It's going to be Marvin Arrington Jr. There he is, the son of Marvin Arrington Sr. This is the attorney who represents the stalker.
We got a signed letter of intent. Shut up. Shut up. I'm talking.
Just a minute.
You're not talking to me.
Shut
You're
up.
not talking to me.
Shut up. I'm talking.
Make me.
I'm talking.
Make me.
I'm talking.
Make me.
It's my time.
Make
It's
me.
my time.
Make me shut up.
It's my time.
I didn't think so.
Yeah.
Is that all?
Does this look like a man who's going to throw his weight around? Does it? Would he do something like that? What do you think about this case, AV? Do you think, who are you? What's kind of your considerations when you see something like this?
Yeah, no, just thinking about all of it and seeing it in context, I don't think that it was cool to drop, like if there were 2 charges against him, I thought it was interesting that Fani dropped 1, right? Also, if she is an elected official, and you guys remember when, Lead and I would cover some of these documents, Fani would also throw around the fact that she was an elected official. So if an elected official actually has a stalker and they're not even safe at work, where the stalker is showing up to a legislative building, Fani and team did not charge him for violating his probation when he did that. So I thought that was a huge problem. Hearing the aspect of a defense attorney, though, was interesting, because when I first read it, I didn't even think of that, right? Yeah. So, to hear your perspective is interesting, right? Because I know Arrington and her have been going through this for such a long time. And if Paul Howard was around, then this is like an inherited case that Fani's office took up.
You're exactly right. Exactly right.
As this saga continues to unfold, we will be here to provide you with the latest updates and analysis. Stay tuned for more coverage on this riveting legal battle. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe for more legal analysis and commentary. Can't wait to talk to you guys in the comments. Let us know what you think about this one. See you soon. Stay safe out there. See you in the next one. Bye.